Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is I'm Movy Aleya Milano. I'm here to do a storytelling about Bawang Putih and Bawang Merah, a local folklore from Java. A long time ago, in a nice quiet village, there lived a wealthy merchant. He lived there with his daughter who was named Bawang Putih. This merchant's wife had long since passed away. He was very fond of his daughter because she was obedient and kind-hearted. One day, as he came home from traveling, he brought a woman and her daughter along with him. He wanted to marry this woman. So now, Bawang Putih had a stepmother and a stepsister who was named Bawang Merah. When her father went to trade, Bawang Merah and her stepmother would treat her like a servant. She did all the work that was ordered by her stepmother. If Bawang Putih's work went wrong, she will be punished by her stepmother by not feeding her. Bawang Putih, wash my clothes. Bawang Merah threw her clothes. Not yet finished washing clothes, she would then be called by her stepmother. Bawang Putih, prepare breakfast now please, we're hungry. One day, her father returned home and fell ill. She never left her father alone. However, God decided differently. Bawang Putih's father died. While Bawang Putih wept and cried, her stepmother and Bawang Merah were excited because the property and the house of Bawang Putih's father are now belong to them. Look, Bawang Merah, he finally died. Yes, mother, we'll be rich. As they further tortured her, she tried to be patient, but sometimes she would cry at night. And one day, she went to the river to wash clothes. She didn't realize that her stepmother's favorite scarf had washed away. When she put all the clothes back in the basket, she was surprised. Mother's favorite scarf is gone. Oh no, it's drifting down the river. What should I do? I can't go home. Mother will scold me. So she decided to go back down the river. She met a farmer who was washing his cow. Uncle, did you saw a red shawl floating down here? A red shawl? Yes, I saw it. It was taken by an old lady who was washing her clothes. Her house is on the mountain. Bawang Putih immediately headed up to the mountain. There, she found a wooden house. Excuse me, Grandma. Did you find my mother's red scarf? Hi, dear. Come on in. What's your name? My name is Bawang Putih, Grandma. Okay, Bawang Putih. I will give the red scarf back to you, but you have to help me first, okay? Bawang Putih agreed. All day, she helped the old lady cook, clean the house, wash clothes, and look for firewood. The old lady gave the scarf back to her, and she offered a pumpkin. There was a large and a small pumpkin. She chose the small pumpkin, and the old lady told her not to open the pumpkin before she gets home. Arriving at home, she was scolded by her stepmother. Where have you been, Bawang Putih? How dare you go out without my permission? Forgive me, mother. I was... Stop! Enough! We don't need your excuses. And they saw the pumpkin brought by her. Cut the pumpkin and cook it. We are starving because of you. Bawang Putih then cut the pumpkin. What a surprise! Inside the pumpkin were full of sparkling and expensive jewelry. Huh, where did you get the pumpkin? Bawang Putih then told them everything. Oh, Bawang Putih, you're such an idiot. You should have chosen the larger pumpkin. It would have had more jewelry. And then, the stepmother had an idea. The next day, they went to the river and deliberately washed away the red scarf. Sure enough, the red scarf was taken by the old lady, and they followed her went to the mountain. But Bawang Merah always complained. Ugh, I'm exhausted. Let's just go home. I missed the opportunity to be richer. But I'm tired, Mother. I don't care. Arriving at the old lady's house, they pretended to be sad and asked about the red scarf. Dear grandmother, did you find my mother's red scarf? Yes. It just so happens that I found it on the river. In order to get the scarf back, they have to help the old lady. But they still couldn't stop complaining. I am so tired. If it weren't for the pumpkin, I wouldn't do this. Hopefully there will be even more jewelry inside this pumpkin. And once they're done, the old lady gave the scarf back to them and offered the same thing as Bawang Putih. With no hesitation, they chose the large pumpkin. Remember, don't open the pumpkin before you get home, okay? They didn't obey the advice of the old lady. The stepmother split the pumpkin. However, they were in for quite a surprise. Instead of the jewelry, inside the pumpkin were venomous animals, such as snakes, scorpions, spiders, and centipedes. They were both bitten by a snake. They screamed for help, but no one came to help them because they were still in the middle of the forest. The stepmother and Bawang Merah died from the snake bite. Their greed brought them to disaster. Meanwhile, Bawang Putih lived happily ever after. The jewelry given by the old lady is making her rich. She continued her father's business and enjoyed the fruits of her obedience and kindness. The end. This story tells us to always be kind, hardworking, and not be greedy, because greediness always leads to disaster. That's all from me. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.